Hi, it's Martin. Welcome to another video on my Knit365 YouTube channel. Today's video is my April roundup, where I'm going to share with you all of the things I got up to in the month of April. I'm recording this on Saturday the 8th of May, a couple of days later than I would usually record my monthly roundup. But life has got in the way the last couple of days. Work has been incredibly busy. We were looking after our niece number 2, last weekend, so I wasn't able to have the quiet, contemplative time to sit down and chat to you all. So I hope that you've got a drink. I've just made myself a cup of coffee in my Yarn and Yarns mug from the lovely Angela, one of my local knitting shops. So I hope that you've got a project, a drink, and you can join me for the next half hour or so as I share what I got up to last month. It is a very, very grey and dreary day. I'm looking out the window. I don't know why I'm doing that because you can't see me looking out the window, but it is an awfully wet, grey, rainy day here in South Wales. So it's the perfect day to put on a movie, grab some knitting or some crochet and just while away the weekend. So that is my plan for later on when I've recorded this video. So let's jump straight in. We will follow the usual format. We have some, we'll talk about finished objects. We'll have some works in progress, some acquisitions, and then I've got the giveaway for the 1,000 subscriber prize draw. So that will be coming up towards the end, and then a little bit of a chatter about what I've got coming up. So straight into it. Yes. There are no finished objects. I hold my head in shame. I've not been able to finish anything during April. There we go. I didn't really have a lot of plans. If I looked back at what I said I was going to do, it was unlikely that I was going to finish anything. I've got some bigger things on the needles and the hooks. So it's okay. I don't mind that I don't have any finished objects. However, those of you that have watched a number of my videos now will know that I'm meant to be doing my bauble along and meant to do 2 baubles a month. And what I had done in January, February and March, I was very good. I was very disciplined. I would start the month and do my 2 baubles. They were done. They were out of the way. April, no. Look how exciting this knitting project is. We'll come on to Mark's jumper in a moment. And yeah, I decided to focus on other things. Then last week was a bit crazy work-wise and I didn't get my baubles done. So no finished objects, no baubles, but that's okay. I will do 4 baubles for next month. I won't not knit April's and just tag them on to the end in December. I will try and catch up. That's my plan. I've told you that's what I'm going to do. So I've committed to you in YouTube land that I'm going to do extra baubles in May. So we'll get that done. So no finished objects, which means my works in progress remain at 15. I haven't cast anything new on. Phew, I can hear you all saying. So I'm still on 15. We know there's a couple that will be frogged. I will record a separate video when I get to frog them. I'm going to talk about the project that it was intended to be, the project that it's now going to be, and the process that I'm going to follow. I've had a few comments about from people, and I've seen on some other videos that especially one of the projects is a cowl, and it's just, I've knit it in the round in simple stocking stitch, but it's been like that for about 12 months now. So what I probably need to do is frog it and unwind it, but I then need to wash the skein and dry it, almost so that the wool forgets that it's been in that format, so that when I use the wool in the next project, the wool is not curly, it'll be nice and straight, it'll look a lot nicer. So I'm going to record a video at some point as I go through that process. I've never done that before. That's going to be fun. I obviously wind off the skein. I've never wound back onto the spinner. The Swift, maybe? Anyway, I'm digressing to detract from the fact that I've not got any finished objects. So still on 15 works in progress, and I'm fine with that. And I don't have any plans for this month to start anything new. Oh, do I? No, I have. Yeah, I haven't knit any Toft things for a while, and I'm missing a bit of simple amigurumi some of my Toft creations. So I might hook on a few new things, but I've got no big plans for anything new knitting wise. I want to finish the bigger projects that I've got on the needles. Again, you heard it here first. So next month's video should hopefully be a bumper edition. We'll see. So let's move on to works in progress, because I've got some great things to show you. The first one I'm going to talk about is Mark's Pathway scarf. And this is a pattern by Kerry Lord of Toft. I'll pop a picture on screen because I don't have the pattern book with me. I don't know where it is. It's not in the bag. This project is living in my Little Grey Girl velvet luxury bag. It's not this bag that's up for the prize draw. There is one of these luxury velvet up for grabs later on in the video. But this project is living in this bag from Gem, and I'm knitting this in Toft wool. So we have Toft pink and Toft grey, which I believe is steel. No, it is shale. So this is what I'm making the project in, and this is what the project looks like. Now, the eagle-eyed of you may recall when I said that I bought the wool and I was going to start this project, but Martin, it was going to be pink and cream. It was going to be pink and cream because the original pattern is grey and cream. Mark told me that he wanted it in pink, and I foolishly ordered the wool without checking with him and assumed that he was just going to swap the grey for cream and he was going to have pink and cream. But no, he wanted to swap the cream for pink, so he wants pink and grey. So I had to buy more wool. So there was a slow start on this one, but I really like how it's knitting up. It is, I can't show it to you properly, it's very long. It is 300 odd stitches, so each row you're going back and forth, as opposed to a more traditional scarf where you're going along the short edge. This is going along the long edge. And yeah, I really like how it's knitting up. So I've worked on the pink, and I finished this section. And then I've just started the mosaic pattern. So you can see here the lovely mosaic. So the pattern is called the pathway scarf. And you can see the lovely mosaic pattern. I really like how this has developed. And I quite like the pink and the grey. I wasn't sure about it to start. I didn't think it was contrasting enough, but I actually like how it works together because I think it is quite a low contrast and I think it will be quite subtle. So I've made great progress with this in the last month. I've just finished pattern A, which is 22 rows. It's a 12-row pattern, it's 22 there and back. So I've now got part B to do, which is the same. So it's a slightly different pattern. But whereas this is predominantly pink with the grey, we'll then start to transition. So we'll have predominantly grey with the pink. And then of course, once I finish that small bit of the mosaic knitting, it's then grey to the end to mirror. So making good progress. I hope in the next month, I'll be able to finish at least the colour work. And yeah, I won't be able to finish all this. This takes me about 20 minutes a row because it's over 300 stitches. It's a lot of knit stitch, but it is very mindless. It is brilliant to watch, to do in front of the tally because it is just knit stitch, which gives us this lovely simple garter. I love it. I know lots of you are always interested in the reverse of patterns. So this is what the back looks like. And I think I talked about this last time. So the interesting thing about mosaic knitting is it is a form of colour work, but in the same way as you have stranded knitting, where you're carrying the floats in almost like a Fair Isle technique, with mosaic, all you're doing is slipping stitches. So you get the floats along the back, but because you're slipping stitches, there's no way for you to make your floats too tight. So you can see here, for example, this pink stitch here, you can see that it is slightly elongated where I've slipped it, and I'm obviously, the last row, I've knit the greys. So it's a lovely technique. It takes a little bit of thinking because you start, depending on what the predominant colour is in the row, you either start the row with pink or you start the row with grey. And then you've got to think about which one are you slipping, which one are you purling, which one are you slipping, which one are you knitting. And if I'm honest, I kind of look at the pattern and then I work out, right, well, if that pink is there, so if the next bit has got the same colour, then that's going to be a pink. So I try not to think about the alternate. If you've knit mosaic, I think you'll understand what I mean by that. If you've never knit mosaic, that probably doesn't make a lot of sense. But it's the contrast colour alternates depending on which colour you start with. It just takes a bit of thinking. But anyway, so that's the pathway scarf. I really like it. Mark likes it. I think it's pretty neat for garter stitch. It's going to need a bit of a block because, of course, this is slightly tighter and these are a bit flary out, but it's not a tension thing. It will absolutely block out nice and flat. So there we go. Project 1, made a lot of progress with that one, and I'm hoping to get the pattern finished. That won't be a finished object next month. If it is, I've not been to work or something's happened. Project 2 then, thank you so much for all the comments. I am very behind with YouTube comments, and I will hopefully this weekend find some time to get back to answering everybody's comments. But thank you so much for the lovely comments that I had on the last video where I talked about my tension issues with the Babette blanket. I'm going to talk to you about Babette, which lives in this bag. This is my nanny's old knitting bag. I've said before, I have very fond memories of being at my grandparents' house and seeing Nanny and Bampy actually had these types of knitting bags. They were both knitters. My grandfather, I've talked about in my very first introduction video about me. He was a brilliant knitter, could knit Aran jumpers without looking at patterns. My nan, bless her, was a knitter, but she couldn't really cast on. She cast on? I don't know. She never. I don't see how she couldn't cast on, but Bampy would always start her patterns and finish her patterns. So she would basically sit there and just go back and forth. And then if there was a problem, I remember sitting there and she'd just give it to him. Fix this, I've done something. So my Bampy was the prolific knitter. So I always talk about him being the knitter, but this was actually Nanny's knitting bag. Anyway, I'm babbling. So in this is living my Babette blanket. I'm in a bit of a rhythm now. I'm very excited to show you this. So I'll pop a picture on screen because I'm knitting this and I'm using on my iPad. So I'm crossing it out as I'm going and I don't have a physical pattern to be able to show you what it looks like. But I've definitely settled on the process now of, in this bag, I have all of my lovely main colours, my greys, my dark greys, my blues. And then in this bag, I have all my contrast colours. So we've got a bit of purple, we've got some lovely yellow, there's a light bluey sort of colour. I'm using that as a contrast because it is very different to all the others. We've got this little brown. So we dive into the one bag and we choose a contrast colour. And then I dive into the other bag and pick out 2 or 3 of the main colours, depending on what the pattern is telling me. And we've definitely settled on grannies. So if I show you the progress I've made to date, the pattern calls for 12 segments, I think. Some segments are very big, like this is one segment. Some segments will take a lot of crochet. So I'm not very good at fractions. I'm not even like an 1/8 of the way through it. Like I've still got a long way to go, but I've finished some sections already. And I just love how this is working up. So I'm so glad I settled on grannies. So if you haven't gone back and watched my last video and you're interested in the construction and how this pattern works, please feel free to pop back. I'm doing a standard granny, so it's a UK treble, a US double, and I'm only doing 1 chain stitch in between each of the squares, which makes it a little bit tighter. But this is a 12 round repeat. and it's got most of the colours for the blanket in it. So we have this one that I've done, and I really like how random the colours are looking. I've finished section 3, and in section 3 we have 4s. So I'll just show you some of the squares and you can see how different they all are. So we've got those, we've got that lovely bluey grey, this one which is just 2 blues, and then we've got 2 of the little small ones. And what I've done is I've tied them together so that I don't lose them. And I've tied them in order. So I'll be able to, because the pattern works sequentially, and I've tried to work out which ones are going to have like a flash of colour. So this one has a flashy middle, whereas this one is just the main colours, the blues and the greys. So I tried to mark on the pattern where I'm going to put a flash of colour, so not every square will have that. So they're all neatly tied together. This one is section 2. And this is just 2 squares. So I think these are 8s. So we've got this lovely, I love this blue. I'm obsessed with how dark and saturated it is. So we've got this one, and then we've got this one. Again, they're all completely different. And then section 4 is the other one that I finished. So I think this is 8 again. And then we have this one. This one I love because it's all, I was just checking it was that one. Yeah, it's the greys with the blue. And then we have some smaller ones here. So we've got the yellow and the blue. Yeah, so I think that's it. Oh, is that it? Yeah, they're my swatches. Yes, so I love how this is working up. A long, long way to go, but I'm in the rhythm now, and I feel like it's a project that I can, if I've only got, I never have 10 minutes before I go to work, because I literally, if those 10 minutes I'd be in bed, then I'm bolting out of the house before I need to leave. But if I've got 10 minutes, I can just grab my crochet hook that's in the bag, I can dive in, the pattern's on my iPad, and I'm working out, it tells me within the section whether it's an 8 round or a 4 round or a 2 round. So I'll always be able to just grab the section that I'm working on and just whip up a quick granny. And these smaller ones here, these 4 round ones, they take 15 minutes, if that. So it's such a quick little project, but combined together, I'm just mildly obsessed with these colours and the blues and the greys, and I just think this colour palette is just going to be lovely. So still following the Babette style, you know, we'll have lots of different size squares, big ones, small ones, really small ones, and I'm going to join them together probably just with a double crochet all the way around. A few of you commented, and it is an absolutely valid comment, if I do a double crochet round all the way, that will probably work, but need to consider how that's going to work with these little ones, because a dark grey double crochet around all of the little ones might make the little ones grow slightly, so it might not fit. So I might need to do a little bit of a practice with some of these, but someone did give me a suggestion that I can almost slip stitch the dark around to almost make the dark border. No, I can double crochet around each one to make a dark border, and then I can just slip stitch all of them together. So that might be an easier way of doing it. And I think that might work a little bit better with this. But this project's going to take me the rest of the year, so I don't have to worry about how I'm going to sew it up yet. And I also did tell you all that I was going to sew my ends in as I went, and I have. So I've left this end here where I finished, just in case I decide to sew it up. And I don't know why, for some reason, I've left all the middles. I've sewn all the other ends in. I crocheted them as I was going. So at the moment, each of my squares has 2 ends. They've got the middle and the end. So I'm very happy that I don't have all those ends to go just yet. This one, interestingly, you can see I haven't actually snipped the ends off, so this one's gonna be one of the last ones I've done. So you can see I've crocheted as I'm going. So all I'll do is I'll just snip that off there so the ends are secure in. So that is my bavette blanket. I am very, very excited by it. So I will continue to make some progress on it. If I'm just making, you know, if I've made 5 or 6 squares since my last video, I probably won't, sorry, I moved the camera. I probably won't show that off every month because you're just gonna see granny squares. But I will keep you updated anyway with how I'm going. So that's that one. And then the other pattern that the other project that I've been working on, also living in a little grey girl bag. This is the extra large bag. And this has got everything in it. It's got the wool, it's got the pattern. Mark's Argyle jumper. And I haven't knit on this for maybe a week and a half. Because I needed a bit of a break from it. I knit so much on it. We still have a bird's nest from the intarsia, but it is absolutely worth it. Are you ready? I can't believe that I've made it, if I'm honest. And I said in my last video, I knit a row and then I stop and I go, oh, doesn't that look nice? I'm still stopping after every row and looking at it. But you're like, Martin, stop talking, just show us the project. So there we go. So the last time I showed this off, I had just finished the ribbon. I think I showed you the ribbon, but basically I've done this in April, and I didn't really work on a great deal else apart from sorting out some granny squares. Certainly the beginning of the month. This is why I didn't do my baubles, because I was just low-key obsessed. And I love how this is showing up on the camera now, actually. When I started, I was really worried that the contrast wasn't sufficient enough between the light grey and the dark grey, because certainly down here it was quite subtle, but actually the way it looks now is you can see how defined that pattern is. So this is the back of the jumper. I need to do 5 increases. So you're increasing every 16, 17 rows, I think. So I've done 3 increases. I've got 1 more square to go. So about that much. And I've done 2 pattern repeats. I think the back I've worked out is roughly 4.5 pattern repeats. So I'm about halfway up the back. But if you want to see the bird's nest, yeah, it's going to be crazy. It's fine. It is what it is. We've talked before. Go back and watch my intarsia video if you want to see. It's meant to look like this. If you're new here, hi, welcome. Intarsia's crazy and I love it. So go back and check my intarsia video and you can see more about the bird's nest and why this is meant to look like this. But if I try and, it's like parting a fringe, isn't it? If I try and part that out the way, you can see how it's creating the pattern in reverse, which I love with intarsia. And of course, all this will disappear. So most of this is what's hanging up here. You can see there's very little hanging down here now because I've been cutting these short when I finish that section. And of course, they're all gonna need to be sewn in. But this is the Argyle sweater by Martin Story. Mark, thankfully, loves how it's knitting up. I am adapting the pattern because I think I've talked in previous videos, the pattern only starts at a small and Mark is an extra small. So fortunately for me, he's quick to knit for. So I've taken 16 stitches off the pattern, so 8 either side. And when I was halfway through a row, so I could kind of stretch it out across the 2 needles, we laid it out on top of another tank top style jumper without sleeves and made sure that after all this work, it was going to fit. Because we look at that and Mark's like, that's a bit small, isn't it? And I said, yeah, but it'll stretch out. And it is almost identical size-wise. So I'm really happy with the way that I approached adapting the pattern, working out how many stitches per inch, working out how many inches I needed to take off the small to make it an extra small. So this pattern, I'm loving how it's working up. I love how it's going to look. I love how I've done the maths and it seems to be okay. I'm sitting on a wooden floor and I'm touching the floor now in case something goes wrong. But there we go. I hope then, I'm going to continue working on this one. This actually might be a Sunday project. This might be tomorrow. We're not going anywhere. We're dog sitting. Loki's coming over for a couple of hours. So I might just do this. So I'm hoping that I will, by the time we do the next video roundup, I will definitely have finished the second pattern repeat. Hopefully I'll have finished the third pattern repeat and started the fourth. It will be a stretch goal for me to have finished the back. But honestly, once I'm going on it, I just get obsessed and I can't stop and I have to keep going. One more row, one more row. It is that kind of a pattern. So there we go. That is the Argyle sweater by Martin Story. And that's it really for the projects that I worked on in April. So projects that I'll continue to work on then in May, I think will be all three. I'm going to try and do a couple more squares as I'm going. I've just talked about Mark's jumper and I'm hoping to finish that second colour work section on Mark's pathway scarf. I keep looking there because they're just by there now. The other project that I'm going to get back out for May is my Beauceron sweater. You haven't seen this since February maybe. So this is a pattern by Vincent Deland. And it is by Dells, is his design name. I finished the colour work, so I've done the main colour work section, down to the sleeves, down on the body, so I now just need to knit in the round, and I got distracted by other projects. So I haven't done any more on this, but it is now a simple knit that I just need to go all the way down. I need to wind some more skeins. This is why I didn't do it. So I've run out of grey. So I'm using Croft from West Yorkshire Spinner, which is there in double knit. So that's the main body. And the reason I didn't do it is because I'm too lazy to get my winder out to wind the skein. So I will do that. And then that's another easy project to watch telly with. So I won't finish that. I'm not going to have a jumper finished for May. Will I? Maybe. But I hope to make some progress on my Beauceron sweater as well. I've got a bit of mending to do. I've got a hole. These were socks that I made for Mark. He has worn them quite a lot. And I don't know if it's something that I did in the construction or he has been a bit aggressive and he's pulled the socks up too tightly. But we've got a little hole. I don't know if you can see it. It's easy to fix. The stitch there is live. The wool is just snapped. I told him it's his fault. I think he was too aggressive. So I just need to secure that stitch. I need to do a bit of mending. I've never mended socks before. But Ange off of Yarn and Yarns recently uploaded a video. I'll actually pop the link below to that one, to a mending video, which was just brilliant to see how you, Ange went and fixed some socks who actually had a hole in the same place. She fixed some cuffs on a jumper, a shoulder seam. She extended a jumper by taking the rib off and starting again. It was a really, really interesting video. So I will be sure to tag that below, and I'm going to take some tips from Ange. I'm going to fix Mark's sock. So I'm going to do that in May. And that's it really. So I've had no top-ups. I've been very good, polished the halo. I've not bought any wool. However, I have ordered a lot of wool from Toft because I said I hadn't really made any amigurumi for a while. I've got loads of Toft wool. But the little Toft patches, I'll show you next time. We'll have a bit of a Toft fest. So I've ordered a lot of wool so I can get some patches. I've got some animals I want to make. There's a turtle, there's a killer whale, there's a shark, there's a lemur, a lobster. I'll talk through my Toft obsession in the next video. Or I might do a separate update. I might do a separate video for all you crochet lovers, and I'll talk through my Toft patches and my plans for Toft. But I've had a bit of a splurge, so I've got lots of wool coming. But at the moment, we can polish the halo because I haven't bought any wool in April. So that's it really. What else is coming up now? So I think let's do the giveaway, and then we'll come back on to a final wrap up. So again, thank you so much for all of you being here and subscribing to my lovely little bit of YouTube, my Knit365 channel. We hit 1,000 subscribers in very early March, and I wanted to do a giveaway to thank you all for being here. And we have 2 prizes. So we have the yarn by Lady Di Yarns, which is the rent kit, and we've got the project bag by Gem of the Little Grey Girl. I will stop recording this now so that I can then record the footage of me doing the random generator. So all you needed to do to be in with a chance of winning one of those prizes was leave me a comment on my 1,000 video. And I did ask if there was any suggestions for future video content. You didn't need to give me a suggestion. You could have just said hi. And I had so many comments, but I can't remember how many. So I'm going to stop talking now, and then we'll switch over to the video. Okay, here we go then. Time for the prize draw. So I've popped in the URL of the video. We're using commentpicker.com. So first prize is going to be for the Gem Little Grey Girl Posh Velvet bag. It obviously isn't this exact bag because this is my bag. But the bag from Gem is on its way. There was a small delay with the post, so that will be on its way to me. And as soon as it arrives with me, it will be on its way to the lucky winner. There will be a little notions pouch inside the bag as well as a little extra special goodie. So for the first prize, we have filtered out duplicate users, and we have 166 unique comments. So let's start the raffle. So we start, and the winner is Linda Munt. Congratulations. So Linda said that she loves watching my videos, whether it's a monthly roundup or a project vlog, even when watching about crochet, which she hasn't done for 40 years and doesn't expect to start again soon. Oh, Linda, maybe you will start a little bit of crochet. Maybe you could do some crochet and pop it in your special bag. So anyway, congratulations, Linda. And let's do the second draw. So the second draw is for the Rent kit by Lady Di Yarns. So we have the Rent inspired stickers, the mini skeins of the light cream colour, and we've got this lovely dark grey merino, which is for the main colour, and there's some stitch markers and progress keepers and things in here. And I also have a knitting pattern for the Rent hat. The skein's falling apart. I'll fix that in a minute. Oh, there we go. Sorted. Right. So let's do the winner for the Rent kit. So pick another winner. Lucy Halley, congratulations on this milestone. Thank you for that giveaway. I love seeing what you're working on and what you have planned for the future. So congratulations, Lucy. Thank you very much for entering. So there we go. If you get in touch with me, I'll pop the details below, and then I can arrange to get your prizes off to you. There we go. Congratulations once again to the winners. If you get in touch with me, my email address is below, or you can pop me a message over on Instagram or Twitter, and I can arrange to get your prize out to you. Thank you ever so much once again to Jem of The Little Grey Girl and Diane of Lady Di Yarns for being able to support the channel and support me in offering up those prizes. So I hope you enjoy. Thank you very much. Final bit from me then is just to share what's coming up over the next few weeks. So I mentioned just now that I'll record a separate update in a few weeks' time for the Toft video to share all my Toft plans, my Toft creations, and the things that I want to do for the rest of the year. And then I'm going to have another video. So on the 22nd of May, please cross everything, because I'm going to be going to the Unravelled yarn show. An in-person yarn show. I know, crazy, right? I went to Unravelled last year before lockdown. It was a great show. I really enjoyed it. Mark comes with me. He's a massive yarn enabler. He walks around going, oh, this yarn's nice. What can we make from this? So we just buy all the yarn. So I'm very excited. Lockdown's been hard, and I think we've all missed that human interaction. So Unravelled are doing online yarn show again, but they are also doing an in-person yarn show in Farnham in the Maltons. If you've been to Unravelled before, you'll know it is a great little show. If you've not been, there are some great dyers that attend. I bought lots of wool last year, and I'm hoping, everything crossed, for the Unravelled team that the show goes ahead as planned. They have the virtual show that anyone can join in from at home, and I'll pop the details below to their website so that you can find out a bit more. But I'm really hoping that the in-person show happens. Rates in the UK for COVID are continuing to drop, are very, very low. The organisers have put lots of precautions in place. We have to wear masks. They're limiting the number of people that are going into the show. We've got dedicated time slots. So we've got a slot for 11 a.m, I think, and we only have a 40-minute window, I think, to go in. So if I'm not in by my allocated slot, tough, can't come in. It's all down to managing the numbers. So I'm really, really looking forward to having a weekend away. We're going to stay in a hotel. We're going to go up on the Friday. We are going to go to the yarn show on the Saturday. And I'm hoping I'm going to take you all with me. So I'm going to film a little bit of the show, hopefully. Lots of squishings of yarns. And yeah, I'm just really excited to be able to get back to some normality. So I will take you with me. And it does bring me on to a thank you for the comments that were left on the 1000 giveaway video as well. Lots of you just kind of said, love the channel, love what you're doing, don't change anything, which is incredibly lovely to have that kind of feedback. And as I've said before, I'm blown away that, you know, I've only had this channel about a year now, and to have over 1,000 subscribers and followers already is just brilliant. But to have feedback from you all that you like the content that I'm creating is just lovely to hear and to see. Some of the comments, though, there were some really good suggestions. I'm very lucky to have 3 or 4 yarn shops within a 10-15 mile radius. So a few of you have asked to see some of those yarn shops. So I'm hoping to get in touch with the owners and see if I can pop along. We'll film some footage and I can take you to my local yarn shops. Some of you have asked for some more project style videos. Yes, there will be a shawl along if Stephen West does his shawl along in September, October time. There'll be the Toft Christmas Advent that we'll redo again. And then next weekend, no, 2 weekends, hopefully there'll be the Unravelled. So I think I'm really looking forward to being able to take you out and about with me. I love doing my monthly roundup. It's good for me to be able to share with you all what I've been working on and get comments. I love interacting with you all. I know I am behind on my comments. I will fix that. I do apologise. But I just like how we've created this little community. We get to share what we're all working on. Lots of you have been tagging me on Instagram, which has been lovely to put faces to your names and also to see some of the projects that you're working on. And I hope then that, as well as me just sitting down chatting about what I've worked on that month, a little diary for me, I can always look back and see what I worked on but also then the other types of videos, whether that's a project specific, or as I'm hoping to do more now as the UK comes out of lockdown, a little bit more out and about, some yarn shops, some yarn shows. Yeah, I can't wait to be able to do a bit more content like that. So there we go. Fingers crossed, 22nd of May. If you follow me on Instagram, I am at Welsh_tenor. My details are below. Or if you are on Instagram and you don't follow me, please do, because I'm sure there will be some pictures and progress of that weekend that I'll be able to share with you, and I'll record some footage and I'll put a video up probably towards the end of the month. So yes, right. I'm going to leave it there. I'm not sure how long this video is. It won't be as long as some of the other ones because I didn't finish anything. But there we go. So I hope that you have enjoyed what you've seen today. If you like this video, please give me a like. It helps me grow my channel and it helps YouTube recommend videos of similar content for you. If you don't follow me, you're not a subscriber, please give me a follow. Click on the subscribe button below. It helps me to grow my channel. It doesn't cost you anything to subscribe, and it's lovely to have you here. And if you want to click on the bell as well, you'll get a notification every time I post a new video. So if you were a returning viewer, thank you so much as always for coming back. I hope you've enjoyed another video. If you were a new viewer, welcome. Thank you for giving me a little bit of your time today. So I'm going to finish my coffee. I'm going to choose one of my projects to work on while I edit and upload this video. So until we speak again, happy crafting.